One thing to keep in mind in Google Forms is that it does not automatically attach the student's name to their response. Additionally, even if you put it in Google Classroom as an assignment, it does not record their name unless you tell it to do so or tell them to do so. This is a difference between Google Forms and, say, Google Slides or Docs or Sheets. Everything in Google Forms lives within Google Forms. So their answer to a question is in there, and you cannot see that from Google Classroom. What I mean by this basically is you need to make sure you have the students record their name somewhere. You can do this one of two ways. A lot of teachers, myself included, just add a question to the very first one. What is your name? And they can just type it in there. What I've done with my third graders before has been have the drop down question with all their names preloaded in there where they just go through and pick their name. That might be an option for the littler kids. High school kids, I would assume, and junior high can just type their name in there. The other option you have is to collect email addresses. You can change that setting by going to settings and then right here, this first option, collect email addresses. This will show in your Google spreadsheet on the responses page a list of all of the email addresses next to their specific response. Then you'll at least know that way who had it. I would recommend doing one of these two ways. Don't feel like you have to do both. If you want to do both, just as a double check, you totally can. But you'll need to do one of these two ways, either collect email address or have them put their name on it. And I would make that question required so you know that their name goes on it regardless. If you do not do one of these two ways, you will not know whose response is whose. No name is attached to it in Google Forms or in Google Classroom.